Now, has this happened to your wash basin? So as you can see here, the wash basin in our ladies' toilets, the pop-up waste isn't popping up anymore. So in this video, what we're going to do is, I'm going to show you how to replace this with a new one, and we'll also find out exactly what's wrong with this. So, let's get on with it. Now, what tools and equipment are we going to need to do this quite simple DIY task? Well, first of all, we're going to need a new one of these. So, this is an 1.25 inch slotted and pop-up waste, which I bought from my local plumbers merchants. So this is actually made of brass, which is chrome plated. And there's our pop-up waste, which does unscrew, which we needed to do anyway, because we need to get in there. So these do unscrew, and there is a seal on there. Also, this comes with washers. So we get a PTFE washer, and then we get this rubber washer, and then we get this, it's like a polystyrene washer at the end here. So you can use these or not, and we'll have a look at that in a minute. Now, when we talk about slotted and unslotted waste, we're actually talking about these two holes here, and these are for the overflow. So an unslotted waste is when you haven't got an overflow. Well, this wash basin does have an overflow, so we need to have a slotted waste. So that's the difference between slotted and unslotted. Tools, all we're going to need basically is a pair of water pump pliers. Why do we call them a pair when there's only one? Well, some guys call these grips. And basically 2 screwdrivers. So you might need to use these if you've got a screw in the top, if you haven't got a pop-up waste one. So you can also follow this process for just the standard plug waste as well, where you might need a flathead screwdriver or a posi screwdriver. But we're going to use these for something else. We also need a silicone gun if you're going to be using something like this. So we've got CT1, or we've just got standard bathroom silicone, because some plumbers like to silicone the hell out of everything, so you can't get the thing off when you come to replace it in the future. I personally don't like using silicones on sanitary appliances. I prefer to use this stuff. So this is Plumber's Mate, which is a plumber's waterproof putty. And I guess it's just because I'm old school. What I would do is get some of this, turn it into a sausage, and instead of using this ring, I would put this around there like that, so that would become the washer instead of that one. And then I would put that through, but you're going to see me do that anyway. But I might even use this rubber at the end. Anyway, let's get on with it now and actually get it installed. Now you know everything that is required. Now, first thing I need to do is remove this trap. So I have a bowl underneath to catch any water. Now the trap is off, we can get on this plastic nut. As you can see, this has been siliconed when it was originally put in, so not put in by me. Now see what I mean now by they're a nightmare to get out once you silicone them in. there's a PTFE washer on here, which is all siliconed up. So that can come off, and then it should push up. Now I've actually got the waste out, you can see that is absolutely rock solid in there. Anyway, let's see if I can give it a whack down there and get it out. So I did manage to get it out, and it's kind of working, but it was due a new one anyway because it'll only stick again. And now you can see all the silicone around there, which I'm now going to have to scrape off. So don't use silicone when you're putting a waste in. Now I don't know whether you can see that massive big crack there, but we'll ignore that big crack for now. It's needs replacing this wash basin, but anyway, that's for another video. So you can see how awful it is to get off this silicone off. But it's got to come off, otherwise it won't make a seal. Now obviously you've got to try and make sure you don't scratch the basin, but when there's a big crack in it, you'll be a lot more careful than I am. Now that's hopefully all the silicone off, and you'll probably be able to see the big scratch in it now. Give it a clean up and a polish later. It definitely needs replacing this basin, but anyway. So that's most of the silicone off now, so let's get this waste in. Now, time to fit this into the hole. So this is this polystyrene washer, which I'm not going to use on this side. I'm going to get myself some plumber's mate, roll it into a little sausage and put it around the flange of the waste. Making sure that it's all covered. Now I can set it in and pull it flat, and we should get this excess squidging out, which is good. So these are the washers that come with the waste itself. So that's your PTFE washer, which is the last one. You can see this washer is slightly domed, so you can slide it up there like that, and we can put the PTFE washer there, and we can now screw the nut up. But what I'm going to do is get another thin sausage of plumber's mate. Technically overkill. And then I can get the grips, which these are slightly too small. There you go. Now this is where the two screwdrivers come in, and I'm just going to put them there, and I'm going to cross the top of the screwdrivers. So what it's going to do is, as I'm tightening up, I'm going to be holding against with the 2 screwdrivers. So I can just use my grips now and tighten up, holding against. But not too tight, because you don't want to snap the nut. I seem to have been pretty good in the past at breaking these nuts. Put down in the comments, guys, if you're also good at breaking these plastic nuts. I can now use the Stanley knife again, and I can just take off the excess plumber's mate. And I can just use the rag now to clean it up. I can now screw the top back up. I can now remove the excess from the bottom. And all we've got to do now is put the trap back and test. Now this is the bottle trap, and as you can see there is a rubber washer on there. Now if that rubber washer is broken or missing, or it's not making a waterproof joint, you could actually put some PTFE on there. Now on the pipe itself there is another rubber washer which is a cone shape, and the flat part goes to the back. You then got your blue plastic washer, you then got your nut. So we can now slide the trap onto the pipe and then line it up with the waste and make sure we don't cross thread it, because again I'm pretty good at cross threading plastic. If it doesn't screw on easy with your fingers, then you know you've cross threaded it. We can now screw up the nut at the back, make sure it's pushed all the way home. And again, this only needs to be hand tight. And now we're ready for testing. Now it's time to close the plug and open the tap. And we're going to fill the water up to the overflow. Now all we've got to do now is open the plug and check for leaks. So, no leaks whatsoever, absolutely bone dry, so job's a good one. Now that is how you install a pop-up waste in a very broken wash basin. Well, any waste in a wash basin. So hopefully you've liked the video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.